under the dim lights of an old, smoky arena tucked away in the backstreets of Macau. Two figures stood at the center of a makeshift ring. The crowd had gathered not for spectacle alone, but for history. Jean-Claude Van Damme, the muscles from Brussels, stood across from Roy Chiao, the enigmatic martial artist and actor whose presence alone could silence a room. It was not just East versus West. It was discipline versus power, grace versus explosiveness. A true fight of philosophies as much as fists. Van Damme's bare feet shuffled lightly on the canvas, his gaze locked and steady. Years of karate and kickboxing had refined his movements into poetry in motion. A former European karate champion and a cinematic icon known for his speed and dynamic splits, Van Damme didn't just rely on brute force. His flexibility and timing were his greatest weapons. He could launch a spinning hook kick faster than most fighters could react, and his legs struck with the speed of a whip and the weight of a hammer. Across from him, Roy Chiao, though older, radiated calm. His movements were minimal, precise. He carried the aura of a Shaolin master, steeped in traditional Chinese martial arts. Known for his work in classic kung fu films and his ability to blend acting with authentic martial technique, Chiao was a man of internal power, soft where he needed to be and steel when it counted. His advantage was technique, control, and a mastery of chi that many dismissed, but none could ignore once they faced it. The bell rang. Chiao circled, his hands raised in a relaxed but ready posture. Van Damme moved with the coiled energy of a panther. Chiao struck first, a flicking wrist strike that grazed Van Damme's arm. It was enough to show that the old master still had speed. Van Damme responded with a flurry. Jab, low kick, spinning back fist. Chiao dodged most of it, absorbing the low kick with a grunt. But the message was clear. This was not going to be a slow, ceremonial exchange. It was war, round after round. The crowd roared as the tempo increased. Van Damme's high kicks began landing more frequently. Chiao, despite his agility, was finding it harder to counter the sheer speed and versatility of his opponent. One round saw Van Damme leap, with a fly knee that sent Chiao sprawling back against the ropes. But the old master rose again, with blood at the corner of his lip and fire in his eyes. Still, fatigue was creeping in. Chiao's style, rooted in balance and energy conservation, was beginning to wear thin against the physically taxing onslaught of Van Damme. The Belgian's conditioning was undeniable. Years of rigorous training for both screen and competition had forged a body that could endure. He began to dominate the space, pushing Chiao back, dictating the rhythm. His strikes came in angles unfamiliar to the more traditional defenses of his opponent. Then it came, the finale. A fake left jab pulled Chiao's guard wide just enough. Van Damme twisted, launched himself into a spinning heel kick, and time seemed to pause. The sole of his foot connected with Chiao's temple, and the crowd gasped as the master crumpled to the mat, not unconscious, but finished. The bell rang again. Silence, then thunderous applause. Van Damme helped Chiao to his feet, bowing with the respect of one warrior to another. He had won, not through luck or brute strength, but through the sheer combination of speed, agility, stamina, and a deep-rooted hunger to prove himself beyond the screen. Roy Chiao's wisdom and tradition stood tall, but in this ring, it was Van Damme's explosive style and unrelenting force that claimed the victory. Two legends had entered. One walked out triumphant, but both left immortal.